going to sit here and I was going to introduce you.
Okay, let's do that.
Okay.
I think we're starting comedy already.
So. Well, good evening, everyone. Hello, I am Ray, Sunrae, and you're very brave. Let me tell you. It should be good. Okay, so
We're very brave.
I think you are for coming. I mean, you're here, you've made it. No, he can. No, he can.
It's not.
So, well, I'm glad you've come here to the Lightworkers for this Saturday evening. And I am Ray Dornan, and I go under the name of Sunrae. I thought it was better than Black Hole, so we'll start, because my father, my dad, he always used to say, he was from Scotland, he always used to say, my son on it. So I kind of took that name and thought, that works. So I took that name, and I have that name. So I've been doing this walk for about 20 years now, and I found that comedy has become a huge part of this. It really has come on strong, and I remember one time I was at this ashram in India, in southern India, and this lady said to me, you know, on a Saturday night we have a night off. We do heavy yoga, you're up at 4 and doing this and doing that. So she said, do you do anything like entertaining? I said, yeah, actually I sing a bit, you know, sing a song and all that. She said, oh, will you do that? I went, she's very nice. I said, yeah, I'll do that, you know. Saturday night. I thought it was like a bit of a kumbaya job, you know, about 6 or 8 people sitting around and sing a song. There was about 80 people in it, right? And I'm like, well, hang on a minute, I didn't have this plan at all. So I went in, and she introduces us, and she says, okay, everyone, we have four acts tonight, and the first one is Ray. Ray, come up here. And I'm like, jeez, I'm first up. So as I was walking up to the stage to play this song, I saw a vision, because I'm this spiritual healer, and I get all these visions. I saw this vision of all my guides, and there was Merlin on drums, there was this Sri Aurobindo was on bass, and they're all cranking it up, and I thought, well, yeah, you know, they're all having a good laugh, and why not? So I got up and was quite relaxed about it, and then enjoyed what I did, and it went that well. So that was when I started to think, you know, there's a lot about this comedy thing, there's a lot in this. And, but I moved on, and basically, but one of the things I figured out with this comedy thing is this, you know, this dignity and age. I don't think it's all it's cracked up to be. I don't, you know, I've got hair growing where it shouldn't, it's not growing where it should, there's lots of things, it's all gone very wobbly. So, with it, you know, I used to have really nice, blonde, curly hair, you know, when I was like a hippie about 800 years ago. And it used to turn on down. Well, now it's all fell out, but even a few years ago, I remember I'd shaved it, I buzzed it off, and I was in this garden, and this person come out, and I was in America, and she went, oh look, she said, some critters just come and gone and died. And I was like, well, it's a bit of a letdown from where I was with the curly blonde hair. So I'm not up for this dignity game. I don't think it doesn't do it for me. But one of the things I've been trying to do, obviously, is develop myself spiritually through all these trips I've been doing. I've done a lot of round-the-world trips. I've done 6 in the last 10, 11 years. And one of the things I decided to do was to go to Peru and do these ayahuasca ceremonies. Now, ayahuasca, it's kind of like a credible LSD. Let's put it that way. That's about the only way I could put it. But I went, and because in Peru, this is where they have the shamans and they have the real deal, and this is basically what you do. So I thought, I'm going to do this. I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it. It's going to be ceremonial, and I'm going to do it right. So I went to Peru and got to the banks of the Amazon, and we went on this tributary, went up, walked for an hour into the jungle. We are the middle of nowhere, right? And they had this huge, they call it a malacca. It's like a huge circular, it's not like a tent, it's a huge circular building. It was not a building, but it's a huge thing, probably a 30 diameter metre diameter. But there was about 30 people could sit around this, and the shamans would sit in the middle. So I went in, and on the night of the ceremony, you only do these ceremonies in the dark. So I've gone into there, and everyone's like creeping. No one's laughing. This is serious stuff. We're going to do a very serious ceremony. So I'm like, okay, I better just get the stuff and lay down. Because you have these beds that are all laid out, and you sit on them, and then what happens is that the shamans, once you take the ayahuasca and it kicks in, the shamans then start singing, and they sing away your problems. Well, I thought, well, I've got enough of those problems. So this was the way it is, and they all sat in the middle, and one of them would start, and they would start singing, and then they would all sing, and they would sing away your problems. And I thought, well, that sounds good to me. So I had to get this chair, because older people like me were sitting there, and it's got no legs, so you sit there cross-legged, because you can just sit there all night long. And what happens is that they all night long, and then they come around in a line, and they just look at you, and then and they sing at you, and that's it, right? And then you might just fall back, whatever you do. But you have a bed to fall back, which is nice. So I've gone over to get this chair, and everyone's very serious, creeping along like that. So I got this chair, and I leaned on it, and it collapsed, and I went, oh, jeez, and I fell over it up, and everyone's looked at me, I went, so sorry. Now, in between all the beds, you have these day-glow, different coloured bowls, and these bowls are for when you vomit. You do? Oh yeah, this stuff, it ain't pretty. No, it ain't. It's good, but it ain't pretty. So you vomit and everything else, right? So I've ended up, I thought, God, I better sit down, because I'm causing a bit of flare. So I've walked very quickly in between the beds, and it was empty, thank goodness, but I've kicked this day-glow bomb. It's gone flying up in the air in the middle of the shamans, and they're all going, oh, and there's this sorry about that, I was just going to lay down, So this was all getting way out of control. So I'm thinking, wow, this is, anyway, so I took the ayahuasca. It's like in a big magnum, of champagne. And we all took it in groups, and then we go there, and in about 30 minutes or something, it starts to kick in. It's all dark, it's completely dark. And then you'll hear that, and we're off, right? And then the other one kicks in, and they're off. Anyway, so I'm thinking, wow, this has got feeling good. I'm seeing all these colours. It's taking me back to when I used to take all this LSD and all these terrible things I used to do. So I was doing all that, and I'm going, yeah, this is great. I'm loving this. And then they were very old. The youngest would be about, was young really, about my age. But but the others were really old. They were like in their 80s, and they would come around. And as they came around, I saw them coming around in a circle, and I thought, what? It's the Amazonian soul train. Right? So they're all coming around. Well, I thought this was the funniest thing I've ever. I've just cracked up with this. And this woman comes around. She's got about 2-3 teeth there, and she smiles, and they all smoke, and they're black teeth and all that. And when you're in pain, one of her party tricks, I'll call it, is she would come over and she would bite you where the pain was. Well, the good thing was you forgot about the first pain, because the second pain was just extreme. She wouldn't let go. And I was like, oh, she's going, oh. So anyway, that was the ayahuasca stuff, and it was great. And I started to do this very strange thing, and I kept going, whoop, all the time. I just did, I don't know why, but. So the next day, everyone saw me. Everyone I passed, they're going, whoop. I'm going, why are you doing that? Because you did it, did I? Yes, you did. So there was all this going on. So, but it made me start thinking when I was getting all these ceremonies going on. So we're kicking in with these ceremonies, 7 in 12 days. I mean, this is really heavy duty stuff. And as I say, a lot of purging. Whoever you think you are, you're a different person when you're there. You kind of, your dignity, you take a different stance on it when you're there. So one of the things that happened was I started to think about all these predictions. with this, I mean, we all know about the 2012 Mayan thing, that where it was the Earth was going to come to an end, or the planets were going to align and all that. But I started to think, well, now that this has happened, what about all the unemployed lamas and monks and saints and astrologers? There's been loads of them. There's been loads of them out there. And all the spiritual wannabes that, sorry, it's too late. It's over. It's gone. You know, I mean, imagine their lack of purpose that they've got. You know, how depressed are they going to be? And they're powerful. We know they're powerful. Like, sorry, you've missed it. You've got to wait another 29,000 years. I mean, how depressing is that? So, I mean, all the Mayan calendar producers, they're all unemployed. And we'll work for them. They're all gone. They're all like on the dole, you know. I mean, the Chinese calendars, that will work, because, you know, that's ongoing. But, you know, they have a lot of chances for advancement there. Yeah, they're promising. But think about it, Machu Picchu, the pyramids, Glastonbury, I mean, they've all like had their day. It's game over. It's game over. And so, you know, all the planets, they're going to ditch us, you know, because suddenly we're not important anymore. And then I tuned in to a conversation between Mars and Jupiter. And Mars says to Jupiter, so, what do you mean that the Earthlings are all put out? They reckon, said Jupiter, 2012 has come and gone, and now it's over. And we've gone and blanked them. We're not interested in them. Mars said, well, we can't help them if the only time the planets align is every 29,000 years. And he says, I know. Well, they seem to think it was important, said Jupiter. Important? Says Mars. You're important. You're a planet. Yeah, well, they don't seem to be getting over it too well. They always like to be the centre of attention, these Earthlings. They're always banging on about their auras. I mean, have you seen Saturn's aura? That's an aura. Mars says, I know what you mean. I think it's just a storm in a teacup. A storm in a what? Says Saturn. It's when, never mind, said Mars. So why don't you just put them on voicemail? Said, well, I can't, says Jupiter. There's 6 billion of them, and they won't take no for an answer. They reckon that it took a whole lot of them to organise and maintain the momentum for the 2012 bash. And now they're put out. They've got all precious about it. Maintenance, says Mars. Have they got any idea the planning that it takes to align the planets? Yes, says Jupiter. They should try running a planet. They're high in maintenance, those Earthlings. So, what do they want then, said Mars. Enlightenment, says Jupiter. Enlightenment, says Mars. You know, for a little planet, they really whinge a lot. Oh no, says Jupiter. It's not all of them though. It's only those that want to see the cosmic, that want to understand the cosmic and planetary connection that's linked to the light and the oneness of all creation. Said Mars. Is that all it is? Yep, says Jupiter. Anyway, says Mars, I've had enough of all this. I'm going on vacation to another galaxy that I was told is untouched, with no fresh air and no space debris. You'll be just fine, says Jupiter, once you get over your galactic, I'll say that again. Galactic. Glad you're paying attention. It's a long journey. Yes, says Mars, I'll be fine in a couple of decades. You bet, says Jupiter. So I'll see you in about what? 28,500 years, more or less? Yes, says Mars. I want to come home early to give myself plenty of time to prepare for the next alignment. All right, says Jupiter. So I'll see you then. You know, said Mars earnestly, I remember a few million years ago that the lack of oxygen in our galaxy made it so clean and there was no space debris. I know, says Jupiter, with feeling. In those days you could travel for light years and see nothing. Give me good old light years. That was living, said Mars, whispering. Excuse me. I'm just hearing something. Spiritual healer, we do that. I'm receiving a communication from a higher life form. Wait for it. It's in the outer universe, far from our galaxy, where laughter is soul food. Yeah, I like this. I like this. It's getting clearer now. Where I'm being told through, communication, because I get that, that these higher life forms have scoured the universe and discovered that Earthlings who are on their personal soul quest are the most prone to being bonkers due to their fantasy and stupidity, which equals laughter for them, which is their soul food. Yeah, that's not very nice, is it? Well, I don't know about that. It's a bit rich. I mean, anyway, there's more. Hang on. There's more. This is good. I like this now. And I have been sectioned out for special mention. Okay? That's nice. I like that. This should be good. And I've been given the unofficial crown, I like this, of the most bonkers earthling on the planet, due in part to my connection with Merlin the Magician. But he's really cool. I don't know. That's painful. They're telling me that they can give me pain, so I better pay attention. So they said after the Mayan prophecy was over in 2012 of our Earth years, apart from the Chinese calendar, blah, blah, blah. Get on with it. We need a new avenue of laughter in the holistic field, and selected me as a starring role. Well, I've had enough of this nonsense. I'm done. I'm not speaking to them anymore. I just think it's a real outrage. Right, okay. Just give me a minute. I'm just blanking them. And I'm back to the main text. So with all this healing that we go on, we can have a lot of misinterpretations with medical misinterpretations. I mean, Mark Twain once said, "Be careful reading health books. You may die of a misprint." Very cool, very cool. And I can relate to that because I was living in Mexico, and the other year I went in a hospital and I read this text, and it said, "Would you like to become a peacemaker?" I thought, ayahuascan shamans, peace, love. Yeah, all right. So I went up to reception and said, "Yeah, I'll have some of that." She gave me a pill, and when I woke up, I had a pacemaker next to my heart. I didn't expect that. I was not looking for that. But I do have a pacemaker, and when I woke up, I thought I was in the lower astrals because there was this guy. He looked a bit like Herman Munster, and he came over me. I'm going, this is not happening. I'm not in good shape. And he goes, "Yorang, sir," in Spanish. And I'm like, no, I'm okay. I'll just rather die, actually. But it was very frightening. And I had this friend, and she was there, and she says to me, "Oh, Ray," she says, "you look like you're going." And I was really going. And she says, "I feel I should say a prayer for you." And I said, "Well, now would be a good time." And that's true, that actually did happen, but that actually made me feel a lot better. Because I thought even when the chips were down, I could joke about this. And I really thought I was going. It made me feel better because I thought, that's good that I can do that instead of taking it also. And I think that helped in getting over this hump of having this. And I thought it was a really good thing that I went through that. And it all goes very strange because later, the following year, I was in Thailand and I was getting my head shaved. And I'm in this barber's and it's zip, zip.